Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. I've got like 3 pages of notes for this video that I've been typing out for the last week or so. Every once in a while I like to make these videos just reflecting on my life, checking in with you, just telling you how things are going, like with my family, the direction of the channel, sharing my thoughts, and essentially everything that's happening like behind the scenes. I enjoy making these videos just to reflect, almost like a podcast, the Bricksie podcast. There you go. Not quite a podcast. It's more so just telling you how I'm doing. So first off, I want to talk about the family. The family is just doing great. Like the kids and everything are growing up so fast, and the little milestones are so incredible. Like when they learn how to walk, amazing. They've been walking for a while now, but when they learn new words, that's the new thing, right? When they learn dad or blue or more, it's just amazing, and I love seeing that and being part of that. There's honestly nothing more rewarding in the world than seeing your kids grow up. It's incredible. So as you all know, recently, Mrs. Bricksie and I, that's Jose, my wife, our family has gone through a little bit of a hard time just because Jose has finally got the surgery done on her hands. Both wrists are officially done. She struggled for a long time with carpal tunnel, and she's been on this list of trying to get in to see the surgeon for years. So it's been like an ongoing issue. But finally, she got in and they fixed it. They did this nasty surgery on her wrist. And the recovery time for that is 6 weeks, and the surgeries were spread out 3 weeks. So it's like 9 weeks of recovery, and you're not supposed to lift over 10 pounds, which is hard because our kids weigh way more than 10 pounds now. So because she's been recovering from that, it's been a little bit more challenging around the house. I'm very thankful. We are very thankful that we have very helpful grandparents. If it weren't for grandmas and grandpas, man, I don't know what would have happened to this channel. To be genuinely honest with you, I don't know what would happen, because she would be going through 9 weeks of recovery essentially, and I would have to be here all the time to help with things, because of course you don't want to risk, lifting a jug of milk which weighs more than the amount that you're supposed to lift, or like whatever it is, because then of course you'll damage your injury or your surgery, and things will be worse than they were to begin with. So I don't know what I would do without the grandparents. I am so thankful that they were here to help with the recovery time, because it would have been bad if I wouldn't have been able to upload at all. The business would sort of just come to a screeching halt, which of course can't really happen, because that's what, funds our life and all that. The kids are growing up fast, and I love it. They're at this age where they struggle with communication. They know a certain few words, but they can't say, hey, I want more cereal, or hey, I got a poopy diaper, or whatever it may be, right? So they're not like fluently talking yet. And I really do look forward to the day where they can fluently talk and tell you what the issue is, because there's a lot of crying. They call it the terrible twos for a reason. Well, they're turning 2 on August 14th, but I see why they call it the terrible twos. It's just because the kids are going through the growing pains of learning. I never want to wish time away, but I do look forward to the time where they are a little bit older, and they can do fun activities outside. Like I really do look forward to the days of bringing them camping. Sure, I could bring them camping now. I could bring them on vacations now, which we haven't really done. Like we could bring them to Disney if we so choose, or we could bring them to Vancouver, or fly somewhere with them, or bring them to Brookwell, Chicago, or whatever it is. But at this time, I just feel like, I don't mean this in a negative way, I feel like they would take away from the trip a little bit. That's why whenever Jose and I get away, we generally do it on our own. The only reason I feel like they would take away from the trip a little bit is just because like their intense nap schedule. Like we have our kids down to a science, and our kids always sleep in their cribs. And they sleep from, like their nap time is from 11:30 until 2 o'clock every day. And they rely on that. That schedule, that routine is part of their life. They go to bed at 7 p.m. No matter what, they're in bed at 7 p.m. If you wait till 7:30, they start getting super crotchety. Like it's just like those kids are on a routine. They need to follow that routine. So I'm scared to bring them traveling, because you know, I don't want to go to Disneyland and then have to be at the room by 7 o'clock every night. Because, of course, you can't just put your kids to sleep and then leave the hotel room. So I feel like they would sort of take away from the trip in that aspect of it. But shoe on the other foot, I feel like seeing them there and you know, having them meet Mickey Mouse and having them walk on the lake or check out the river or camp, like be in the campsite would be an extremely cool vibe. But I just feel like they're a little bit too, I hate to use this word, needy at this particular time to really thoroughly enjoy those moments. So that's why Jose and I have opted in for waiting a little bit longer before we bring them camping. I can't wait for them to learn how to like ride a bike and play sports and shoot hoops and stuff like that. It's going to be a great time. But once again, I don't want to wish away time because time is so important and valuable, and also seeing these little milestones is so important as well, and it's just such a cool part of life. Our kids, they're not in daycare yet. We've actually had them in or on a waiting list for one of the better daycares around our house for like over a year. So we're hoping by like August, September, we can get them in daycare, and that's going to free up a little bit of time for Jose, and it's also going to get them to learn how to socialize and stuff like that, be a little bit more social. So that will be really good because that's going to free up Jose's time. It's going to help socialize our kids. However, I've heard some nightmares about every time a kid goes to daycare, they get sick. So then you're dealing with that all the time. So every time you're hanging out with your kids, they're just sick. So I have heard the negative things about that, but also that's how they build an immunity to these different viruses and all that. So I look forward to the time that they're, well, once again, don't want to wish away time, but I do look forward to them growing even more than they already have. But that'll happen sooner than later. Time flies. It's wild. So yeah, it's you know, it's been a little bit challenging over the last little while here. Jose's coming up on week 5 of recovery on her right wrist. So that wrist is pretty much going to be back to standard use soon. So that time is you know, it's coming to an end here right away, which is cool. I look forward to the full recovery because, you know, with the surgery and the never-ending need of the channel, times have been a little bit more challenging around the house just because I've had to do a lot more. I've had to, you know, run the channel, edit all the videos, do everything involved with the channel, and then also, you know, change all the poopy diapers and put the kids to sleep and bathe the kids and do all of that stuff after you know, do that. So there's some reasons why, like, why do I do YouTube? It all started with passion, right? Like, I'm very passionate about Lego and I'm very passionate about YouTube videos. And also one of the main reasons why I do YouTube is obviously to fund my life. It's to generate revenue for the business, which in turn pays Jose and I so that we can actually afford to raise kids and have a house and meet our everyday needs. If it weren't for YouTube, then of course I'd be working a regular job, right? So I just want to say, like, this is what my schedule looks like right now in the current time. I mean, of course, it's not always like this, but during Jose's recovery. So for the last 5 weeks approximately, this is what it's looked like. So I wake up at 7 a.m. and then I generally just get the kids ready and get myself ready, whether that be like changing their diapers and cleaning and doing the dishes and feeding them and feeding myself and getting ready to go to work. Then I'm usually at the studio between 9 and 9:30 a.m. And we always have a babysitter. The essential thing about this is having a babysitter here. Thank you once again, grandparents. So incredible. So the babysitter will stay till about 3:30 or 4. So I'm usually home, or I usually leave the studio at 3:30. So I'm only at the studio for 6 hours a day. So that's how much time I can spend with my Lego or building my Lego city each day. So then I get home, I hang out with the kids from 4 until 7, of course, feed them, change them, do all that stuff, bathe them, get them ready for bed, put them to sleep, read them a book, hang out with them, have fun with them, all that stuff. It's from about 4 until 7, so about 3 hours. So then after that, I still haven't taken care of the video editing, because generally when I'm at the studio, I film the video that's going to come out the next day. So I have a 6-hour window in which I can film the video. But then the editing takes place after the kids are asleep. So at 7:15, once the kids are asleep, or 7 o'clock, then I edit till about 8:30, 9 o'clock, get that video uploaded. And then by 11 o'clock, I'm usually asleep. In that 2-hour window from 9 until 11, Jose and I watch our favorite TV shows or rewatch Star Wars or hang out in on the patio or mow the lawn or whatever it may be. So that's sort of like what my day looks like from 7 a.m. till 8:30 and then 11 a.m. And then I sort of just wash and repeat that every day. So I have like 6 hours of build time at the studio, once again, from 9 or 9:30 till about 3:30. And then on top of that, like, it's not all dedicated to building Lego while I'm at the studio. There's a whole whack of other stuff, whether it be, placing orders for parts, because if you're going to build a custom Lego city, you gotta place orders, and you got to get those orders. Also filming sponsorship ads, because I do some sponsorship stuff. So doing that, just planning in general, like what's going to be next? What's the next video that I'm going to make? Where am I going to go from here? What's tomorrow's video going to be? What's next week's video going to be? Are there any important embargoes coming up for review opportunities or anything like that I need to make reviews on? Also, I do a bunch of like shipping, or sales and shipping. So running Whatnot auctions, getting everything set up for that, advertising that, shipping all that stuff, getting that all done. And then there's other social media that I've got to take care of as well. Although I will say my social media and also my review front has really been lacking. It's really taken a hit. I've not been posting on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that every day, whereas I used to do stories and posts every day, but I've just sort of fallen behind on that. And I've sort of fallen behind on my reviews as well. I haven't really been doing any reviews. And then other things that you got to worry about when you're running a business is like finance and like payroll, just making sure all the bills are paid. And then also just responding to like comments and reading comments and all that. I will say that sometimes, like for the most part, 98% of comments, or probably 95% or 90% of comments are like extremely positive and that. But there's a lot of ideas that come from the comment section as well. So I like reading those comments. And I also like reading the comments just so I can sort of moderate them as well. Moderating the comments is very important because, sometimes in a day you'll get up to like 10 comments of people completely ripping on you or ripping on your skill or trying to take you down or try to tear you down. So I like reading the comments just so I can heart the good ones, read the positive ones, get that smile, go, yeah, that's awesome. I love that you said that. Thank you so much or whatever. And also moderate the bad ones to get rid of that because, it can get a little bit overwhelming sometimes when you read 10 negative things about you and your skill each day, even though there's 90 good ones, the 10 ones can sort of like get at you. And some of those ones are over the top and they just need to be removed altogether. Like, for example, the harshest comment that I've ever gotten was somebody suggesting, this happened about 2 weeks ago, somebody was suggesting that within a few years I would commit suicide. So I was like, that just needs to be like removed from my channel and that user needs to be gone. That's all I'm going to say about comments is sometimes when you read 10 of them in a day, every single day, 365 days a year that are really negative toward you, it becomes a little bit of a mental block, and sometimes it can slow down the process of building and really sort of cloud your mind. But then there's all the positive ones and ideas as well. So as you heard, I do all my video editing at home currently, because what I would typically do, well, before Jose's surgery, I would do the video editing at the studio, but I would usually stay at the studio till 7, 8, or 9 at night. So I'd be able to build more Lego and I would be able to do all the video editing there, and then I would head home for the day. The problem with that is I never got to see my kids. I didn't see my kids as much as I would like because, of course, I do that schedule that I was mentioning earlier 7 days a week. I go to the studio 7 days a week and do this 7 days a week because that's how often I upload on the channel. So I do most of the video editing at home in the current situation, and that's sort of why I haven't really been focusing on 4K. I know the other day, like a few weeks ago or whatever it was, a month ago, I was talking about upgrading my channel to 4K, and I bought the right equipment so that I could do 4K. The problem is that computer is at the studio, and the computer here can barely handle 1080p on the camera that I'm filming right now. So if I wanted to do 4K, I'd have to make sure that I have a better computer here, or I bring the other computer from the studio here. The issue is when I'm doing like video editing at the studio, that computer's like so snappy and so quick, and I'm usually in a rush to get out of there because I got to get home. So I haven't been doing 4K just because I'm always in a time crunch to get these videos out. It takes a little bit longer to render, it takes a little bit longer to process, takes a little bit, well, render process, same thing, but it takes a little bit longer to upload as well. So that's the reason I haven't been doing 4K, just because most of the time I'm in a rush to get it out. Not really a rush, but you know, just want to get it out quicker so I can spend more time doing other things. So I talked about my schedule there, and I've sort of wrote myself into working every day. I completely understand that my audience doesn't expect me to upload every day, but I referenced the reasons as to why I did YouTube earlier. One of the main reasons is, of course, income. And income is very important right now just because I have a Lego city that is massive and it requires a mass amount of parts, and those parts aren't free. They cost, you know, tens of thousands of dollars in some cases. So in order to get all the parts to fully develop that, I really do need to, you know, upload quite frequently to pay the bills here, pay my family, and also pay the expenses of the business. So it's one of the reasons why I upload every day. And also I enjoy uploading every day. It's sort of like a grind that I really do enjoy. It's something that I'm really addicted to be honest with you. It's really just become part of my lifestyle that I've done for years now, probably like 4 years of uploading daily. And it's just really something that's become part of my daily routine. Sort of like my kids, you know, they got a routine, so do I. So it's become a part of a routine that I really do enjoy. So the current mix of my channel is sort of like all-encompassing. There's a lot of city updates where we do little things throughout the Lego city. You know, we might upgrade this or upgrade that or work on the zoo. Then there's the vlogs where I casually vlog my life. You know, you might get a little bit of my kids in it. You might get a little bit of Lego in it. You're going to get a little bit of everything, snippets from all over my life. Then there's the shopping, which has sort of been something that I've done for a long time as well. There's the reviews. There's also the unboxings, and one type of video that I really enjoyed doing was the full overroom. Like in this basement here, we had the shelving and we had the Lego city and we did the full overviews, and those always did quite well. And I enjoyed doing them just because it showed the entirety of the Lego room. I haven't really done any of those at the studio. I just feel like there's too much white space in the Lego city to do that. But all those different types of videos, they do perform differently over long periods of time. For example, the overviews might do better over a longer period of time, whereas the vlogs, they're probably good for like a 48 or 72 hour window, and shopping, once again, probably going to perform for like a week or so, and then they sort of peter out. So I upload every day. There's lots of different types of content that you can create. Mostly what I create is what we call hub content. The hub content is just sort of stuff for like the daily viewer who's going to come in and watch the stuff on a daily basis. And I look at my channel and I see where it is now, and I'm like super stoked. Like this channel has come so far, and it's provided for this family, and we've also have like a really epic Lego studio now, so it's epic. But I always look to the future as to what can we do differently, how can we reinvent the wheel for the channel, and how can we improve it. Back in the day, a year ago, 2 years ago, I used to gain like sometimes like up to like 10 or 12 or 15,000 subscribers in a month. And now we're down to about like 3,000 subscribers a month of growth, which is sort of interesting to me. And I always think to myself, how can I unlock the next phase of the channel? How can I continue to grow, and how can I get the subscriber growth back up? I'm always trying to think of that. It's like, well, maybe I need to like try different styles of content. Maybe I don't always need to create hub content for the, you know, viewer that's checking it out every day. But shoe on the other foot, that's the type of channel that I always enjoy. For example, a YouTuber that I always watch who uploads quite frequently, such as myself, is the Tim Tracker. I've always said I'm sort of like the Tim Tracker of Lego. It's sort of vloggy, and I enjoy doing that. What maybe I could do is maybe focus more on reviews. Maybe that would help grow the channel. Maybe I should focus on doing more reviews. But to be honest with you, I don't find reviews to be the funnest of film, in my honest opinion. And I've really been slowing down on doing reviews. And I do watch a bunch of other review channels, and I've noticed that their growth has also slowed down a little bit, and maybe they're sort of reaching, you know, a peak and slowly growing as well. So I don't know if reviews is the answer to the question, because I don't think I have a lot of fun filming reviews. I think I prefer filming like daily vlogs, or I prefer filming, you know, Lego City updates and stuff like that. Of course, I'm going to review the sets that I thoroughly enjoy. Like I'm going to review the Barad-dûr, I'm going to review the Rivendell, I'm going to review the Giant Titanic. That's like a must, just because I think that's so cool. But I feel like sometimes in my case, not in everybody's case, I feel like sometimes the reviews, you know, they have a lot of opportunity cost affiliated with them because I will spend all day building and reviewing a certain set when what I could have done is worked on my zoo or done something differently or worked on a mountain in the city. So I feel like if I spend an entire day or an entire 2 days reviewing a certain set, well, that might, you know, take away time. Well, it does for sure take away time from other things that I could potentially do. So what I'm talking about right now is just ways that I can change the dynamics of the channel. Maybe it's time to do something different to try and, you know, increase viewership more than it already is, and maybe just change my lifestyle as well, because I honestly don't have a whole lot of free time right now. So how can I change the dynamic of the channel, potentially grow the channel, and also potentially unlock some more free time for myself? Of course, I could maintain the status quo, but what I could do is I could integrate more lifestyle vlogs into the channel. I think that would be a lot of fun, because then I'm not going to work every single day, maybe 2 days a week. I'm spending my entire day at home. And then what I do is I film lifestyle vlogs of my family and my house, and I put those in the channel. And it would be more of like a lifestyle vlog 2 days a week or something like that. And you know what? There are lifestyle vloggers out there that have millions upon millions upon millions of subscribers and a huge following. And I think because my vlog style already exists on this channel, I think there's a lot of people that enjoy watching my lifestyle vlogs. And I really do enjoy living life as well and vlogging the process of my life as well. Now, something else that I could do is actually create condensed videos. What do I mean by condensed videos? So for example, what I do in a week. So I could condense that into fewer videos. So when I go to the studio 7 days a week, I manage to build the medieval platform, build the foundation of the zoo and come up with a new layout of that. Build a whole bunch of sets, C-3PO and all those new Star Wars sets, or build whatever it may be, a new boatyard, or detail some water. So what I could do is I could start creating condensed videos, and more things happen in those videos. So rather than working on the zoo for 3 days and making 3 videos on the zoo, I could work on the zoo for 3 days and then present what I made in a video, and more gets accomplished in that video. And less time is spent focusing on each rendition of whatever I'm doing. So rather than making an entire video on completing the medieval diorama tables, which took me, you know, a day, I could have a 2-minute section in a video about me finishing the diorama tables, and then a 2-minute section on me starting the zoo and having the mill plates finished for the zoo, and then a 2-minute section of me finishing the water work or building the cove or whatever it may be, and then have a condensed 20-minute video that shows, or whatever, a 15-minute video or a 10-minute video or whatever it may be, showing all of those different things that I did over a 3 or 4 day period, and reduce my upload schedule to like 3 days a week. That might unlock more time for me because there's probably less editing involved. There's more Lego building involved, and it would change the dynamic of the video because more would happen in a short period of time. The issue is with that is, what do I, if I do 3 diverse things in a video that's condensed into one, what do I title that video? If I build the medieval tables and I texture the water and I work on the boatyard, what do I put as the title? It's confusing. There's so much stuff that just happened in that video. There's not a single topic. Also, what do I make the thumbnail? How do I put a thumbnail that shows all of those different things? And most importantly, if I upload 3 videos, so if I upload 3 days in a row and each video gets 40,000 views, making a grand total of 120,000 views, if I condense those 3 things into one video, is the viewership going to go up to 120,000 views on that single video? That would be the biggest risk, because once again, this channel does pay for the Lego that I need to build, and also my lifestyle as well. One thing that I could do to try and, you know, free up more of my time, if that's my ultimate goal, is I could hire staff. I could hire staff to do the financial stuff or ship the whatnot parcels or edit the videos and all that. But I do feel like hiring more staff it does make it easier and you do accomplish more, but then there's also managing those staff members, giving them the tasks, sending them the files so that they can edit it and upload it for you. There's a lot of managerial skills that has to go into that, and there's a lot of planning and organization. So I realize it will get more done, but it also does complicate things. And I used to have Jose on my team, and that's another one of the things that has sort of put more pressure on me is I no longer have Jose, who is a full-time employee. Ever since the kids were born 2 years ago, I haven't had that extra full-time partner, rather than employee, I should call her, partner, to help me with all of these different tasks. So there's been a lot more put onto my plate. And that will change. Eventually, when the kids are old enough to go to school, Jose will be back joining me. She's going to join me at work. We'll drop the kids off at school. We'll go to the studio. We'll work. We'll pick the kids up from school on the way home, or she'll pick up the kids from school on the way home, and we'll have a unity that will work together once again on this channel. So I feel like once the kids are in daycare or once they're in school, then I will have her back, and she just like helps so very much. So yeah, there's so many different things that I juggle, and so many different things that go through my mind, and I'm always thinking about this business that we have and this channel, and I'm always thinking, how can I improve things? How can I unlock more time? How can we continue growing and developing, and how can we continue building Lego, and how can we increase the pace at which the channel grows, and also the city grows, and how can we unlock more time to build the Lego, but also how can I equally balance that with my kids, my family, the job, and all that. So just juggling all of these different things, it becomes rather difficult. It's something that I'm always thinking about, and I'm always trying to improve. But ultimately, in the end, I mean, I have a ton of fun doing what I do every day. It's like incredible. I love it. I think it's amazing, and I enjoy providing this type of content every day. I love making vlogs. I think they're great. I love making Lego City updates. I think they're great as well. But I'm just contemplating maybe trying some different condensed forms of media. A lot of successful shows, pretty much all of them, they only upload videos once a week. Even if you think of there's a new episode of House of the Dragon every week, or there's a new episode of Survivor every week. They only upload once a week, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that do that as well. So maybe I need to try and do something like that, but I just need to really test that before saying I'm going to commit to doing something like that. Test it. But in order to test it, I really need to take a risk, because I need to dedicate 2 weeks of only uploading once or twice or 3 or 4 times. And it just becomes a risk on my end. And I don't know how I would respond to it. I don't know, because it's part of my routine to upload every day, or I don't know how my audience, you, would respond to it, because I know I have become the routine of a lot of people's days, which is pretty cool to think. But Mrs. Bricksie and I, we are actually, we're going camping, glamping, and maybe this is the opportunity. Maybe July of 2024 is the opportunity of trying something like that. But it's just really something to think about. And you just got to take it one day at a time. And that's what I've done with the family, and the Lego, and the Lego studio, and the Lego City, and all that. And I know eventually, one day, that Lego City is going to be completely filled. It's going to be completely done. I'm going to focus on a lot more custom in the countryside, and it's going to be epic. It's just a matter of getting there. That's all. Just the time, the parts, and finding that balance of working and uploading and hanging out with my family and enjoying my time with them as well. I just wanted to share some thoughts. I hope I did that in a clear way, clear as mud maybe. I had a lot of stuff to discuss. I probably missed some points, but it is what it is. I think I got all my points through, and I hope you enjoyed this video of me just reflecting on my life. Just wanted to check in with you or let you know how I'm doing. and discuss some things that are sort of going on in my mind. Thank you so much for coming on by. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned, and have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye for now.